DEBRA COCO, and welcome to the Just Gimme the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who you are and what it is that you do. Welcome. Check us out and look for us on YouTube.
Testimonial link, a Jgtmtv music distribution.
Hey everybody, I'm your girl DEBRA COCO, and welcome to the Just Gimme the Mic show. We have a great show lined up for you today. We have 3 guests that are coming through to tell you about what they do and what they have coming up. Our first guest is going to be Vida. She has an organization that is very serious, and she wants to raise awareness for that because it needs to have more people kind of paying some attention. It's a very serious cause, and hopefully through this program we can help get some people on board to help join and assist with the program and the organization that she's founded. Also, make sure you check us out on YouTube, Just Gimme the Mic. Make sure you check us out on BronxNet and on Cablevision and Time Warner. We got some great programs that's going to be coming up for 2018. And also, don't forget, every Wednesday, the last Wednesday of every month, we have a boat ride showcase that is hosted by Just Gimme the Mic. And if you want to perform, make sure you send me an email to justgimmethemic12@gmail.com. And also, if you want to be a guest on the show, you can also send me an email requesting to come and get some exposure for your company by also sending an email to justgimmethemic12@gmail.com. So sit back and relax. Again, I'm your host, DEBRA COCO, and we'll be right back in the real show. Okay, well, I want to open up and welcome our first guest to the show. We've been trying to connect for some time, but we finally made it happen today. We have Vida in the building, and thank you so much for joining me of the Bomb Vida radio show, right?
Yes, I have a radio show on the Bomb Baby Radio Network.
Okay, nice. Well, I know we're going to talk about your radio show in a moment, but I know today you had an organization and a cause that you wanted to raise awareness about, so you want to come and sit down and talk about that. So I'm going to pass it to you and let you give us some background information and let us know what the organization is about.
Well, it started with my son, who is 15 years old, and he has refractory epilepsy. So for those who don't know what that is, refractory epilepsy is epilepsy that's not controlled with medication. Oh, wow. He's on medication currently, high doses, and he's also had surgery. He has the VNS, which is an implantation to control the seizures.
Wow.
Nothing has worked up until this point.
Wow.
So his seizures are monthly. It could be anywhere between once a month. It could go up to 5 times a month.
Oh, wow.
And there's no sign, there's no trigger. It just happens. He can be sitting here talking like we are, and he'll just drop.
So how old was he when you first had the occurrence?
Interestingly, when he first started showing signs of epilepsy was when he was 2 years old. He was having staring spells, and they wanted to evaluate him because they kept saying that he had ADHD. I am very familiar with epilepsy because I have it myself.
Okay.
And my mom struggled with me with absent seizures, so I took him to a neurologist right away. They automatically diagnosed him with epilepsy because he had absent seizures.
So that means he would stare and wouldn't have any other body movement? Like, explain how...
Absent seizures are staring spells, or maybe the person could be having a conversation like we are now, and then I could just
stop.
Completely pause, and then not remember what we were talking about.
Oh, wow.
Or continue forth a few minutes later, and not remember pausing.
Like nothing happened.
Right. In school.
And at 2 years old, how do you, like, you just notice him just stopping, and then he would just...
Spacing out, a lot of spacing out, which many children do have that.
Okay.
But it's confused with, like I said, ADD, which doesn't exist anymore. Now it's just ADHD.
Okay.
And they're being, misdiagnosed with other things, and because they're not being guided, the parents, to take their children to neurologists to get checked first, for any neurological conditions.
They're just quick to give the medication and diagnose them with that ADHD now.
Schools are very quick to say your child needs to be evaluated by the school, and go on medication for behavioral problems, which can later on cause neurological conditions such as epilepsy.
No, that is true. So as he gets older, you notice and you're keeping track of how often they're occurring, what is triggering the occurrences to happen.
As he gets older, he was pretty normal functioning, day to day. You meet him, you would never think he had any issues, you know, more like delays in school, things that would affect his memory with learning, but nothing that you would notice.
Okay.
About 2 years ago, he came out the hospital, and I was in my kitchen, and he was with his sister in the living room, and I heard his sister laughing hysterically at him, and I thought he was making her laugh. And I told him, Malik, stop playing around, because I saw him with the jerks and it didn't look like a seizure. I thought he was playing.
Right.
And I go back to the kitchen, and I said, I still hear her laughing. I come back out, and he's still doing it. I said, Malik, stop. And then when I look, he wasn't responding.
Oh, wow.
And my heart just
Very scary.
dropped. I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know. My phone was right in my face. I couldn't find my phone. I panicked. Luckily, my neighbor heard me screaming and barged in my house and called 911 for me.
Wow.
I went to the hospital. They said that it looked like, you know, he had a seizure, a convulsion. It could be the new medication he was taking at the time.
Okay. That's the hard part. Trying to find the right medication while you're going through, you know, this whole process. That is very hard. So.
And this was 2 years ago. I'm thinking, okay, one seizure, maybe something happened in the brain that just didn't go right with the medication, or maybe it's something else. Next thing I know, the next month, another one happens.
Boom.
And then another one. So now I go to his other doctor and say, listen, I think it's the medication. They take him off the medication. But then the seizures start increasing.
Oh, wow.
And this was 2 years ago, and it's been a battle ever since, you know, skipping through all the same thing that I'm saying. He's had a total of 198 seizures.
Wow, and he's 15 now.
He's 15.
190-something seizures. What kind of effect does it have on the body? Do you know a little bit about that?
Well, the medication itself has given him vitamin D issues. So he has a lot of issues with his legs, you know, easy fractures.
Wow.
Again, if you look at him, you couldn't tell.
But as he's playing sports and running, those things are
Well, he has a
effective.
fracture right now. He fell in gym.
Okay.
And fractured his knee.
Wow.
Just by a simple fall.
Wow.
He has had numerous injuries because with his seizures, convulsions, he has them in the tub. He's had them. He's hit his head against furniture.
Oh, wow.
I can't let him, he's 15. I can't let him have a normal life. I can't let him go outside, you know, by himself. God forbid he has a seizure and the cops think that he's high on drugs. And, you know, he's an African-American young man. My children are both half Haitian. So I worry about that. You know, I worry about, God forbid he has it on the train and God forbid falls into a track or down the stairs. And then he's a 15-year-old male. So in his mind, it's like, it's no big deal. You know, he doesn't understand.
No, but you worry, yes, the outside. Like, is there any kind of device or anything that he's wearing to let anyone know?
A medical alert bracelet.
He has medical alert. Okay. Well, then that's something. So if they happen to see him, they'll know how to take care of him and what it is. So that's also important, right?
Yeah.
So they offer that to you, or that's something you had to look into yourself to get?
This is something I had to look into myself because I happen to be the kind of person and parent that has the knowledge to know this is what I need to do and this is where I need to go to find the information.
Okay. So do they think that epilepsy, do they think it's hereditary? Is it gene? Like, did they give you, because since you said you had it, do they think that there's a connection between you having it and him having it as well? Or is that something that could be random based on other genetic issues?
Interestingly, I had him go to a doctor and have a test in genetics.
Okay.
I have epilepsy, and my dad had epilepsy from a motorcycle accident.
Okay.
That he had a head injury. But he didn't get it from my line of the family. It says that the gene is on his father's side, and nobody on his father's side has it.
Wow.
So it's very interesting. Epilepsy, there's still so much research that even the research that has come abroad is still indecisive in the facts that they're given.
There's no
Nothing
definitive.
Is solid.
Yes,
Nothing
okay,
is solid.
understand that.
So they give you the probability. Well, this is what it could be, but it's still, they don't know. It's not like other conditions where you take a CAT scan or MRI and you could pinpoint where something is coming from.
There's no direct
this is what we
link
can do for
to it. Exactly.
Everything is trial and error.
So how does he feel about it? Is he worried about it, or is he just like, look, what is his thoughts on, and how does he deal with it?
My son is very macho for his age. He's very, very sweet. and he doesn't talk much about it.
Okay.
He acts like it's nothing, but I know it bothers him.
Okay.
You know, he doesn't have a normal life. It would bother anybody. And for a teenager who doesn't understand, and
does he have like is there any support system within your doctor's office that you go to? Have they offered you outside support that he can go to, I mean, coping? I mean, we don't know. Like, maybe some things that he has inside that he hasn't communicated. Are they offering that type of support system to you from the
everything that
hospital?
he has that is set in stone right now is because I researched it and got it for him. I'm still looking into more things. Luckily, as I discussed further, what I'm doing now has opened the doors to a lot more opportunities for him that I didn't know about.
Well, check out Mount Sinai's website, too. They have all of those case studies, trial studies. I mean, you don't want him doing all kinds of medication, but they do have other type of help, like, you know, support groups that he can go to, and they can share experiences, and sometimes little things that they say in the course could be helpful in regards to that. But you also started an organization because of what your son is going through. So tell us about that.
Last year in May, I'm in the music industry. I'm an artist. I sing.
Oh, you do?
Yes. And I decided that we wanted to take an event from last year and make a cause. So I said, you know, why don't we do epilepsy? It's only right. You know, it has to do with something personal. And my son was okay with it. And it went fairly well. I got in contact with the Epilepsy Foundation.
Great.
And they came out, and I had a good number of support. And the Epilepsy Foundation was very impressed. I kept in contact with the director for every month we talk.
Great.
Sometimes more than once a month.
Great.
He takes a lot of pride in my son and myself. And he asked me, he said, you know, the Epilepsy Foundation doesn't cover the Bronx. The Bronx is the neglected borough.
Why not? That's something that should be looked into.
Well,
I didn't know it stopped at certain boroughs within the city.
Yeah, there's certain, I didn't know either. But he asked me if I would consider having Seize the Cure, you know, be the representation of the Bronx.
Okay.
And I had no intention of doing another event after last May. It was a lot of work. And I said, you know what? I thought about it. I said, why not? I have a really bad situation that could be worse. I always try to look at that.
Of course, of course.
But it could be a lot better. And maybe this is the way to make it better. Open more doors of opportunities, not only for my son, but when I did the event last year, you'd be surprised in the industry how many people came out.
That's awesome.
That
that's great
still
that people
don't feel comfortable, but they talk to me about it.
Okay.
And they said, you know, oh, you know what? I know such and such who has it, or I have it. That epilepsy is something people just don't talk about.
It's quiet. It's quiet for some people. I've had friends for years that, you know, we've been out at events and they had an attack, you know, an episode, so to speak. I don't know what to do. If I would have known that they had it, you feel helpless if you don't understand or know what's going on when those type of occurrences take place. So I think raising awareness in what you're doing, if they don't have representation in the Bronx, I feel is necessary. I know there's hundreds of kids in the Bronx that do suffer from it.
Yes.
And I think it's great to do events. We always do cancer, breast cancer, all these other different autism, and they're all great causes, but people are suffering also from epilepsy as well. So I think it's a great thing that you started doing the fundraising concerts, whatever that could be done to help raise funds and awareness, because like you said, there's no real trigger. This is just still a mystery to a lot of people as any other type of genetic disorder. You know what I mean?
And I could tell you why. If you look back in history, epilepsy was back in the days looked at as, you know, a case of the devil.
Yes, I did read that. I did read that.
And in some cultures, it still looked like that.
Yes.
It still looked at it like that. In other cases, it was looked at as a mental disorder, schizophrenia, excuse me. And it was not until recently, and when I say recently, I don't mean like yesterday or last.
Within the last few years.
But it was recently looked at as a medical condition, and people are still not aware of that. Not everyone has epilepsy that has seizures.
That is true.
That's another thing.
Yeah, it's like another part of it.
Some people only have seizures if they have fevers, or if they're drinking or on, you know, unfortunately, substance abuse.
Right.
So that's something that maybe that's why they don't want to talk about.
Yeah,
There's
I've heard
something
about
linked
that.
to it.
Alcoholic seizures.
Yes.
I guess if you drink over a certain level, your body kind of shuts down and goes through it. So you're right. It's different variety of of the disorder, or what do they actually label it as? Is it the disorder, or is it, how do they label it?
It's illness.
Illness?
Condition.
Okay.
It's
A condition. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm saying
and
it
the thing
correctly.
with it's either way. It's really the same thing. It's not curable.
Yeah, right.
You'll hear people say that, I haven't had a seizure in 5 or 10 years. It doesn't mean you're cured.
Right, you still have it.
Because
it's just
once you
nothing
have
brought
it,
out.
it's going to come, it can come back. It's a good chance it'll come back.
Wow, wow. And I think the scariest part for your son is that you don't know what the triggers are. Some people know what their trigger actually is. Like, I have to stay away from this. I can't do that. I got to make sure. But you don't even know what it is. If he's sitting here doing just regular everyday things, that's the scary part
Right,
of
and
it.
for him, everything's a trigger.
Wow.
No sleep, no video games, no exercise. That's like no life.
Wow.
He's 15.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Stop him from living?
And this is a lifelong thing that he has to try to figure out
Right.
how to control it. So you did your first event in May. Are you planning, are you in the plans of actually doing another one soon, or?
Well, the first one for 2018 is May 20th. It's
Okay.
a Sunday
Okay.
at 1 o'clock.
Coming up, everybody. So give us the
Yes.
information on that.
And I'm really excited because this event is going to have, I have a lot more support this time than last time.
Right.
I have Presbyterian Hospital coming out, the neurologist.
Nice.
Which is my neurologist, actually.
Okay.
He's coming out to speak, as well as their media team will be coming out.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm going off top of the head. There's a lot. I have speakers on cannabis, oil, and medical marijuana coming out.
Okay.
The YMCA.
What is the connection with that? Is there a connection? Do they feel that cannabis helps? I just want to know. I'm just asking.
My opinion?
Yeah.
Research shows it does.
Because I'm saying that because I actually read something, and that's one of the reasons too why I see that some medical doctors are actually pushing for the medical cannabis, because there's naming a few disorders, not just that, but I've actually seen epilepsy on the list, saying that it can help seizures by keeping the body in a certain state. So that's a whole nother topic, but I did read something very little about that.
I am in the process of considering alternative medicine for my son.
Okay.
Because seizure medications have so many side effects attached to it, long-term side effects.
Which can cause other problems, like you said, down the road. So,
seizure medications are mind-altering drugs.
wow, that's not good right there.
Part of Seizure Cure is I'm combining a mental illness component.
Right, which should be there.
Because it's combined. People with epilepsy usually have some form of mental illness.
Wow, okay.
Depression being a main one.
I can see that.
People who have mental illness and take all kinds of medication for their disorders, these medications cause seizures.
Wow.
So
it's
there's
like
yes.
There's definitely the link between the two
Yes.
back and forth. Okay, so I didn't
Yes.
know that. So that's something that we're learning today as well. So the name of your company is Seize the Cure?
Seize the Cure.
Okay. And you have, where can they go if they wanted to find more information about it, join your upcoming event, or get tickets for it? Give us some information in regards to that.
Yes, the upcoming event is May 20th. I plan to have consistent events, so it's a continuous thing. I'm asking for donations. I have a planning committee that I just now set up.
Okay.
The website is bxseizethecure.com, and
That's SEIZE.
SEIZE,
The Cure.
thecure.com.
Okay.
And you can make donations right through the website, as
Great.
little as $5.
Great. Are you looking for volunteers for the event? Maybe people
I
that
look
can.
for any kind of help.
Okay, volunteers, donations. Make sure you go to the website and they can actually write and reach out to you. And
Yes, the
on the
email address.
Okay, what's the
is,
email?
Bear with me, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
bxseizethecure@gmail.com.
Okay, so make sure you send her an email if you are interested in being involved in this upcoming event or just learning more. I know, even for support, you know.
Absolutely.
This is a great way to create a network here within the Bronx, you know, and we definitely need people, you know, volunteers and everything to be a part of this, because this is a cause that really needs a lot of attention. Because like I said, I worked in a neurology department for pediatric, and I see the look on these parents' faces. I see these children, they don't know what's going on, and it's a real scary situation, you know. And like you said, you don't hear much about it, but I see it working in neurology. I actually work in neurology, so I see the kids firsthand when they come to the hospital. I see the parents, what they're going through. But like I said, there are support groups through Mount Sinai for the adults, for the parents dealing with children that have epilepsy, because it's a very scary thing.
And that's a big part of seizure cure. There's three main components,
Okay, yes, tell us.
four main components to seizure cure. The person who suffers from epilepsy, the parent, because the parent is the one, when it's a child, that the life is completely changed around.
Yes.
I started a job and had lost, on probation, I lost 21 days of work on my probation period because of my son's condition. And by the grace of God, my boss understood.
Great.
And I didn't get fired. But not everyone's blessed like that.
No, you're right.
There's a lot of things that's are available to the parents that the parents don't know about. And this is the point of seizure cure, the mental illness component and the music, arts in general, because it's therapeutic.
Yes, yes.
And that's what I'm bringing, not just guest speakers in the forum, but arts and entertainment to show that this is, you know, two different, the music industry and the medical component coming together.
I agree. That's definitely, music and arts definitely can help in those type of situations. And that, I find that with children across the board, whether it's autism, ADHD, music and arts seems to be, you know, a part of all the forums, part of the programs that I see, because they find that helpful. Whenever they have children suffering from, let's say, autism, drawing, colors, music, you know, it always seems to be implemented in the programs that I see for children. So that's a great deal. I think your 4 steps, the 4 parts that you have to it, the components are very relevant and ideal for the type of program that you have together with that. So, I mean, again, we did this segment today to help raise awareness, to have people come out and to be a part of this great event that's going on. Of course.
Just if I'm not reachable on Facebook, TJ Vida, my board of directors, which is Nilda Gibson, who's my mom also, and Ronald Bullock, they can reach out to them as well.
Okay, on social media, like on Facebook, they can reach them?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, tell them again, they can reach out to...
Reach out to Ronald Bullock or Nilda Gibson.
How do you spell the last name for Bullock?
B-U-L-L-O-C-K.
Okay, make sure you reach out to that as well. And also, through your segment, let them know how to reach you on your television. They can also go through your program, your show that you have as well, right?
Oh, yes. I have a radio show, the Bomb Vida radio show, that is on the Bomb Baby Radio Network. And one thing I'm doing for artists who are a part of Seizure Cure, whether it be the May 20th event or future events, I'm playing their music in rotation and giving them an interview as a thank you.
Okay, great.
So I have an email for the radio. It's bombvidaradio@gmail.com. And it's every Wednesday on the Bomb Baby Radio Network. You can find my show at 9 p.m.
Okay, make sure you log in, check it out on Wednesday nights and support the network. Very good people at that network. And you have a great, how long have you had the show?
Very recent, January.
Okay.
On my birthday it started, January 31st.
Birthday?
Yes.
Okay, that's a nice gift to yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be back. Maybe we can get some links for the show and also air that if that's possible. And we'll see if we can slip in a performance or something from... we have some surprises coming up. Hopefully, we're going to try to get it in. And we'll be back. And I want to thank you so much for joining me and letting me know about your cause. And I hope this segment today helps to increase and, the awareness of what you're doing, and people will decide to help you, help out with that.
Thank you for
having me. And we'll be back. And make sure, look up seizures, epilepsy, because like you said, it's a lot of information out there that people don't know about, and now it's time to build a network and to share so we can all help each other. And thank you so much, and we'll be right back with more. My guest, Vida. Make sure you check out our support. We'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Bomb Baby Unlimited proudly presents to you the one and only B.L.O. something spectacular, y'all. Family favorite.
Animal beat. I see you.
I know the song.
Magic, what?
Yes.
It's magic, what?
Yes.
It's magic, what?
Let's go. Bomb baby. I started dead last, now I'm coming in first. Spitting so hard that it causes your appendix to burst. Got a bright future, but my style is shady like Slim. Is below the almighty, carry styles like Jim. I'm amazing like the Mets, and I fly like jets. My crew connects like gang sets and blast like Tex. I rest for mine, Bomb baby, until the death of me. Got everyone from gangsters to teeny boppers checking me. I'm hip hop like cats that pop like these cash jock. They hate cause they chick is on my jock. Soon you'll find out, nobody does it finer. I'll open up the show and outshine the headliners. My rhymes and rhymes, nobody can top that. These cats with hood raps is equivalent to hood raps. Rapping reality in this game of fakers, cause my style is like a Hall of Fame guard for the Lakers.
Magic.
Yes. Y'all know the song. Y'all know the song. Never, never. Yes. It's magic, what? It's magic, what? Yeah. I'm a microphone magician, make these whack rappers disappearing. With the pen, I make real hip-hop reappear. Now I can pull a single up out of my hat and turn a classic song into a brand new track. I'm a hip-hop bandit, haters can't stand it. My style's more doped up than Floyd Landis. It's BLO, I'm internationally known. And these haters can't take me like collect calls on cell phones. I'm not Mariah, but I shine like glitter. It's BLO, I cover more ground than litter. And you shouldn't be surprised cause you've been told I'm the best thing to come out since Janet at the Super Bowl. I rap Bomb baby whenever I'm spitting, cause you know that I'm a family guy like Peter Griffin. I spit like I'm crazy, my flow's insane. This ain't no game, I'm hip-hop's David Blaine. Come on. Yes. It's magic. Come on. Never. Never. Yes. Come on. Yes. Yes. BLO. I'm right back to my old tricks. I lead a crowd of all like a sci-fi flick. They marvel at my style like I have my own comic. My line's so shocking, I power electronics. The hurricane flow is knocking out your lights. I'm the future of New York like David Wright. I'm so fly, I write my lyrics in the clouds above. And I drop shit like the chick from Flavor of Love. I'm one of the best that the people haven't heard yet. Don't make enough for BET to spread the word yet. But either way, I'ma go full throttle and take chances like I was playing the lotto. And to stop me, y'all gotta shoot me down and destroy every CD that carries my sound. But until then, it's on and happening. I'm magic, one of the greats like Nick Anderson. Go. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of BLO, by the good people. And Bomb Baby Unlimited, producer, songwriter, CEO Bomb Baby Unlimited, Bomb Baby Radio Network,
Animal beats.
proud card carrying member of Seas Secure. DEBRA COCO, thank you for having me.
Alamo Records. Check it.
You can find me at www.bombbabyradio.com. I'm on Facebook by my government Ronald Bullock.
Come on.
I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter at BLOB. That's what I do.
Hey everybody, we are back, and I am sitting here with my next guest, BLO. Came through to represent for us today. And he's, you know, artist from the Bronx. Are you from the Bronx?
I am from the Bronx.
All right, for the Boogie Down Bronx, y'all. Now, we knew each other for quite some time, like 2-3 years ago. We actually met, right?
We met a little bit before then, about maybe 4 or 5 years.
Oh, 4 or 5
But,
years ago.
Yeah. Time flies.
Yeah, and time definitely does fly. I think I was just really starting out at that time. And you had your own radio show at that time then too, right?
I had my radio show, about the same time, about maybe 3
We were
4
kind of
years
like
ago.
in our beginning phases, both of
Yes.
us, around the time that we actually met. But you were doing music at that time.
Yeah.
And we met through Studio Bug.
Yes, sir.
Big shout out to Studio Bug of BX Records. Y'all make sure y'all check him out and support him. But let us know what's been going on with you since we've last seen each other.
Honestly, lately just been regrouping.
Okay.
I've been, as you know, I'm an artist. I've been doing it for a very long time.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like you. I'm a jack of all trades. I do a little bit of everything aside from being an artist. I'm also I also run a label. I'm also the radio station, of course, and I'm also a show promoter and booker.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of suffered from that fate where I kind of got caught up in one trade and neglected the other.
Oh.
So for the past couple of years, I've been real heavy in putting on events.
Okay.
And I just got at that phase where I gotta step back and be an artist.
Yeah, the music, the love for music is resurfacing now, right? You want to do your music. So let's kind of break down those 3 different areas that you've talked about. So you started out with the music?
I've been doing music since I was 9 years old.
Okay. So rapping and...
Rapping, I used to make beats. I don't really do it anymore. I kind of got people to do it for me now, but I used to make beats. I write rap, I write R&B, I write pop.
Nice. All across the board.
Yeah, pretty much, arrange songs, organize songs.
Okay.
A little bit of everything, man. I used to manage artists once upon a time.
How was that? That's a whole nother...
It's
hard,
a
right?
Headache. It's
and
a
people
headache.
be seeing posts, people ask me, can I manage them? If I can't give like 100% to the artist as far as finding them shows, bookings, really putting into the artist development and all, I won't do it. You know what I mean? You have to be able to give that time, right?
It's really, really hard because, as you said, there's just so many aspects that you have to open up for the artist.
Right.
And then, end of the day, you kind of have to cater to the ego of the artist. There's some artists, some artists are cool. Some artists just go along with the ride and take it as an experience. Some artists think that they're God's gift walking to music.
I know.
They
need a special course on handling egos because there's a lot of ego. You get a couple of hits or whatever, and the head is like, now they want to get paid. I'm not saying artists don't deserve to be paid, but there's levels to this whole thing,
It's
you
definitely,
don't jump out the gate like that.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience, and that's a word of advice I try to give every artist I come across. Just because I've been doing it for so long,
Right.
I've been, like I said, I've been making music since I was 9 years old. I've dabbled with major deals. Yeah, I've dabbled with major deals.
You have, okay.
I had a couple of indie deals. I've worked for indie labels as well as my own.
So you know this business.
I'm no pro at it, but I've dabbled with it.
But it's good to have the knowledge on both sides.
Definitely.
Because some artists, they really don't understand the business of it, even though in this day and age, you should really educate yourself and know what kind of situation you're stepping into. But that's good that you can see it from both point of views,
Definitely.
is what I'm trying to say. So
Yes.
that's great. And then how about, how did you come about doing the record label and the station that you have now? How did that come about?
The record label still came during childhood, believe it or not.
Okay.
Rapping since I was 9 years old. By the time I turned 14, 15, there was a group of friends I was supposed to have done a talent show with. They got cold feet. I did it by myself. And then I guess after they seen how...
Ain't nobody stopping my dreams. I'm going to do my thing, right?
Yeah, and the show was a disaster, by the way. But
That's okay.
That was my motivation to move forward.
Okay.
And I guess as my friends saw how serious that I was with it, they kind of slowly but surely came back along.
Okay.
And it went from being a group to just everybody do their own thing. Kind of like a Wu-Tang Clan.
But
it's like there was a unit, but then
Uh-huh.
everybody kind of had their own thing too.
Okay.
So we all did it under the same umbrella.
Isn't that nice? Because, it's not like you have to join a group and follow one lead. Everybody has their own individual.
Exactly.
And they were able to let that shine out within one unit. So that's a great thing.
Exactly. It was, the plan was expansion. The plan was drop the bomb and then have it expand into all of these different areas.
I like that. Now, how easy or hard was it for you to start the actual network that you have now that you air your shows from? Tell us about that.
Well, I started my radio network, and I've been getting off of the radio for several years, and I've had mentors and friends that have been doing it that kind of presented the opportunity to me.
Okay.
I kind of fell into it kind of by accident. A good friend of mine, Miss Tina Williams, she was a sponsor for one of my events. I don't want to take credit if I'm discrediting anybody. I apologize, but I did the first all R&B concert showcase series in the North Bronx.
Oh, wow.
And Miss Tina Williams was one of my sponsors. So what I did was I put together kind of like a little mix show as a preview to that concert series.
Okay.
And she loved it and offered me a weekly show on her radio station.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, so from there it kind of snowballed into something bigger and better up until the point where I'm running my own network now.
Isn't that something? Now, I don't want to, I know the logistics is probably a lot to explain because it's hard to get your own network
It
and
is.
all the stuff that goes on behind it. So now that you have it, you had to find different programs to air on the network. Was that easy for you?
Yes.
It was?
Yes, because
Okay.
when you're doing one show, that's your focus. Your one
Okay,
show. What you're
right.
gonna do this week, what you're gonna do next week, 2 weeks down the road, what guest is in this place, what guest is in that place. When you're running a network, that's 24 hours a day of time.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, okay, I want my network to grow, and it can't just be me 24/7.
Right.
So what are we
You
gonna
need to
do?
sleep, eat, and do other things as well.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's a whole different. I'm not even getting into the aspect of running the network.
Right.
I'm just talking about programming
Having
right
it up
now.
programming-wise,
Yeah.
right.
But you want it to be something that represents you, something that you wouldn't mind turning on. Because my network is, I'm on TuneIn. I have a mobile app or whatever. I want to be able to have that experience where I turn on the radio and I hear something that's going to interest me.
Right, right.
So that's what I try to bring into my radio network, and I have a couple of different shows. We do hip hop, we do R&B, we do
Nice.
pop, we do inspirational music,
Nice.
world music. We have a few.
Great variety.
Yeah, we have a few inspirational talk shows or whatever. I try to do a little bit of everything. I'm a real positive-minded person, real lighthearted person. Some people are into their drama movies, their romance comedy movies. I like my cartoons, so I'm really lighthearted.
Keep it light.
I'm really lighthearted with that. So
That's
I try
nice.
to
That's-
represent the same thing
Okay.
with my radio network. Not necessarily cartoons, but something light, something
Light
easy
and-
going.
Right, we
Exactly.
understand. I understand that. Now, what is the network? What's the login? Where do they go to check out your network?
www.bombbabyradio.com.
Okay.
Also, as you guys, but I don't know, this might have to be edited out. I don't know if you're gonna air before me or after me. As Miss TJ Vida, who was up here earlier, stated, that's my partner in crime. You can actually find us through her because she
Okay.
actually has a show on the network as well.
Okay, that's right. And on your network, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. I like the way, because like I said, we met initially in the beginning phases. So to see your growth, right?
Yep.
How you've grown since we've last seen each other. I think that's a positive thing. Hopefully that's inspiring to other people out there. And the one example that you gave when you performed, you did it by yourself regardless if anybody stayed with you. And then you end up motivating them to want to get back into it. So that's a great
Sure indeed.
thing, you
Sure
know?
indeed.
That's good. So what are your plans now? Is there anything different you would like to do with the network? Anything else that you would like to incorporate into it?
Well, first and foremost, before I even get into that, I'm going to take what you said and kind of flip it.
Ooh.
Because, as you said, we kind of watched each other in the beginning stages, and look at what you're doing. You got the Bronx Net Show. You've done radio a couple of times. You've done the series with Ralph McDaniels. You're doing
Right.
the Harbor Lights every year now. You've
Yeah.
done a lot of amazing things yourself.
Thank
so
you.
Just to
Thank
commit,
you. Look, clap for
Yeah.
that.
Listen, you
Clap
show
for
respect
us,
to give respect.
right.
Exactly.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But my goals moving forward, first and foremost, I have to get back into the artistry.
Okay.
I've done a lot of showcases. Well over a couple of hundred within the past 12 years.
Great.
I've
How
easily
do you
had.
feel about showcases today? Let's stop with that. How do
Okay.
you feel about it? Because it's changed.
No, it's definitely
Showcases
changed.
have changed. What's your opinion on it today?
It's a completely different ball game.
It is.
And I can be speaking from the promoter standpoint and the artist standpoint. As a promoter, I think there are too many people thinking that they can just drop out of nowhere and throw showcases and make a bunch of money off of thirsty artists.
Right.
That shouldn't be the case.
No.
If you're gonna throw a showcase, you have to have at least something that it leads on to. You can't just say I have a bar, I have a lounge, bunch of artists come through and perform and go home. You have to build an experience.
Right.
Because anything
That's
to
the word,
offer
experience.
Because even just the ground to network, because it's very hard to pack a house, because when you're working with independent, underground, up and coming artists, these performers, they can't consistently draw crowds.
I know.
It's very
I
very
know.
hard.
Sometimes I work with artists. I just ask them if they could sell 5 tickets.
And sometimes 5 tickets is a challenge.
Right.
Exactly.
And they can't. And it doesn't really say that they're not a good artist.
No.
It just means that the support level has changed from back in the days to me. But I can see before people could come out, boom, people would come out with no problem. Today.
No, but because these days, especially in this particular era, the social media era, people will put up a picture, get a couple of likes, and think that's support.
Yeah.
That's not support.
Yeah,
that's
not
a Facebook.
Getting
like.
somebody to come out and actually spend money into whatever.
Exactly. You know, when somebody, supporting your craft, coming to your shows, buying your music, telling their friends about your music,
Right.
sharing your videos, sharing your SoundClouds.
That's support.
That's the support you're looking for.
Support,
On Facebook, it's cool to see people pay attention to you, but that's not doing anything for your career.
No, it's not. I agree. That's a very good point. I like that. Okay.
But that's really what it is. I mean, it's really hard to bring out a crowd. There may be a case where you'll have one artist who's doing the show and making a big deal about it today, and they'll bring out 10 people this show, and you'll bring them back next week, and they'll bring out 2 people.
Right.
It's very
It's
hard.
really like a hit or miss
Exactly.
nowadays, right? It's like whether people have something to do or whatever. It could be a number of different
Exactly.
things. I can't even try to come up with it.
But I just think that on a promoter side, the promoter should have something to offer, even if it's something as little as sharing somebody's music on your social media for a week.
Right.
Just have something to show. A photo shoot. There's a lot of artists out there that don't have a professional picture.
Right.
They'll have a camera selfie as their pictures on their SoundCloud.
Right.
Get a little camera, take a picture, crop it, Photoshop.
Good point.
Offer something to these
Offer
artists.
something.
It can't just be this.
I like that.
Now,
Okay.
on the artist side, first and foremost, and this is not strongly and wholeheartedly believe in, you're not a superstar. If you're gonna go to a showcase, don't stand in the corner all night, perform and leave.
Right.
Meet people, shake hands, talk to people.
Show support to other artists.
Exactly.
Don't just perform like you said and leave.
If you're coming
show
to
respect to other artists.
if you're coming to a showcase, and especially if it's a showcase that you spend a substantial amount of money doing, if you're coming to a showcase with the mentality I'm gonna perform and go home, you lost.
Yeah.
You completely missed the purpose.
Right,
Go
right.
out there, shake hands, network. In this New York City music scene, the entertainment scene, it's huge and small at the same time. It's impossible to go to a bunch of events and not see at least 1 or 2 people that you know.
You're right.
So, at least try to introduce yourself. You never know who's gonna be instrumental in your come up.
Like today, every venue, every place you go is an opportunity.
Exactly.
Right? This is impromptu. Me and you
This
right
is
now.
completely impromptu.
This is impromptu, and what I'm saying is you have to be ready at all times, right?
True indeed.
This is a perfect example today. Now your music. Do you have new music out? Tell us where you're at right now with the music.
I'm working on new music at the current time. I do have a single out called
Okay.
Leave Together, featuring a very, very talented singer from Iceland named Alan Jones. But the new single is called Leave Together. It's available on all digital media platforms, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, anywhere you can find music, it's there.
It's there.
I do have a current album floating around. It's about 10 years old, called Virtuosity.
Okay.
It's kind of old, but I'm one that believes, especially because I'm not necessarily
Age is
famous.
nothing, right.
Exactly. I believe in the slow burn candle process.
That's right.
I got some gems on there. The song that I performed, the song that's in the background, Magic, is on that album, Virtuosity. But in the meantime, I'm working on some brand new music, and working on some music with my buddy CJ Vida.
Nice. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the collaboration between you two. And I will be checking out the link for the show.
Definitely.
And everything. And I appreciate you sharing your jewels of knowledge with me today.
Always, for
Hopefully
sure.
we'll inspire some artists out there that's paying attention. And hopefully you'll meet some new people that come out and support what you're doing.
Definitely.
And in your upcoming events that you have. So again, give your social media where they can check you out again, and any links that you want to promote right now.
First and foremost, even though I might not be the most active as far as posting, I'm usually always on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook by my government name, Ronald Bullock. Drop me a message. Be friendly. Don't be a creep. Don't try to sell me nothing I don't want. Add me. Say hello. I'm very friendly. I'm not as big as I look on TV. You can find me
You
on
look fine. You look good.
you can find me on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, BLO Music. I'm not as active, but the same rules apply. Hit me up. I'll hit you back up. The radio station is BondBabyRadio.com.
Check them out.
24/7. It's still under construction. We've had a little bit of I guess you can say a moving process because we switched service providers over the years. At this point right now, we're kind of rebuilding.
Okay.
But we still got programming there. My show, The Bond Baby Experience, TJ Vida's show, Bond Vida Radio, as well as a couple of other shows.
Nice.
And 24/7 streaming music. Independent artists, you have music. If it's clean, send it to me. I'll play it. Anybody with the thought and idea, want to have a show, hit me up.
Hit 'em up.
I'm more than willing to work with you. You know, we're at the ground building up, but we got things in motion.
You're moving. There's
Thank you.
movement. You know, it happens in different phases, you know, but as long as there's movement, everything's all right. Well, I want to thank you, BLO.
Can I put one more link
Of
out
course,
there?
go ahead.
And this is just to piggyback off of what was just spoken.
Okay.
As I said, TJ Vida is my partner in crime, my best friend. As she spoke about the conditions of her son, I was there for a lot of it. I've witnessed it.
Wow.
I'm a strong supporter of the Caesar Cure movement. I'm on the board of directors. So while you're checking me out, please be sure to check out bxcaesarcure.com. Hit us up if you want to volunteer. We're accepting donations, minimum of $5. If you want to volunteer or even help with the show, like even with the actual show, like a donation could be like a few 2-liter sodas. It could be a package of cups, you know, I guess silverware. I'm trying to think of a particular word for it, but you know, we're trying to have a movement, and it's an incredible cause for a silent killer.
Yes.
So please, BX Caesar Cure, check that out and support the movement.
Yes. Thank you for that. That's good mention right now. Yes, make sure you support. Had 2 very good positive artists. We have some more positive energy coming up. And I just want to thank my guests. Thank you and TJ Vida for coming through.
Thank you very
much. And
much.
we'll be back with some more, y'all. This is Just Give Me the Mic. This is what we do. We help to promote different things, not just music and artists, but anything that affects our community and affects us as a people. We want to tell you about it. This is what we can help you out. Then you got the song. Thank you. Hey everybody, we are back, and I would like to welcome my 3rd guest today, Talib and Shakur. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. Now, we had a nice interview last year where we talked about a lot of your current projects that you was working on at that time. But I know, like the ending of 2017 and this year, I kept seeing so many things come up on social media, that some new projects that you've been involved with. So let's start off. You're acting. You're involved with a few projects across the board with different production teams. So catch us up on what's been happening with you lately.
Yeah, I don't know. I put an actors reel up, and they've been calling.
They've been calling?
The latest thing I did was called Diagnosis PTSD. Something I wasn't familiar with at all. And I did some research on it, and I had to do a little promo and show them and send it to them. And they was like, "You great, we want you." In fact, they made me the co-star.
Okay.
And
But what does PTSD stand for? Tell us about a little information on what the purpose of this new movie is and what they're trying to get out.
It's post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, it's gonna be, what's her name? Monet Charisse.
Yes, and big shout out to Monet Charisse.
Yes.
You actually had a major co-starring role in that. I had a couple of scenes where I jumped in as extras, and one thing I want to say about Monet Charisse's project, down to the behind the scenes, the treatment, the actual script, to actual seeing it being brought to life, as far as the wardrobe, the makeup artists, the actors. I must say, it was totally on
Rashad,
point.
my man, Rashad.
Yes,
Worthy.
big shout out to Rashad Worthy and Elijah Brand.
Yes.
Also one of the major actors in that
Yes,
movie.
the whole team.
Right, the whole team. And there was a lot of different people in there that had previous acting experience and a lot of very popular projects that you will see today. I'm not going to run it down
Yes.
because I don't have everybody's background in front of me, but it was a very talented cast that was a
Yes.
part of this production.
I had fun with that.
Yes.
One hitter quitter.
Yes, one hit a quitter.
Yes.
And what else have you been working on?
I just want you to look out for it. Check me on social media. I'll give that to you in a little while. But I'm doing plays as well. Also, Pray Before You Eat 3 is coming out soon. Look for that. Thank to Luke, Stephen, and Doc Holiday.
Yes.
Salute to that team, the Pray World fam. Also, what else I'm doing?
Hey, but how is it like being featured? Because, you know, y'all may know Head Ice, big popular battle rapper.
Yes.
He also has music out now. So how was that working with him and Pedro Escobar? Shout out to him.
Escobar Entertainment.
How was it like working with them and doing projects? Because, you know, he likes to incorporate a little movie into his videos.
Yeah.
And he's such a popular person in the social, you know, overall. How was it working with him and some of the projects that he had coming out?
Yo, shout out, Wolf. We only love family. Yo, soon as we met each other, we click. It's just natural. When we get on there together, you know, mad respect and admiration for each other. I wanted to work with him. He let me know he wanted to work with me. We just did something called Get It Done.
Right, I just saw that.
Oh, my God. We had fun doing that. It's just natural. It's natural when we work together.
So do you enjoy the videos over the movies, or you just like special appearances in either or? Like, is there a preference?
I do it both because it's still a movie. I don't be in the background dancing. Or I'm still acting.
Okay.
You know, I just did also the one, The Godfather. You was also in that.
Yes.
I did that with Head Ice, Murder Mook, K. Slay, Marvin Thompson.
Okay.
Right,
very-
so-
yes, that was a good one as well.
That was good. Deborah COCO.
Yes, I was
Right.
featured in that as well. Let's talk about Mr. and Mrs. Jackson.
Oh, wow.
Yo, we can't forget about
Yo,
Mr. and
Daniel,
Mrs. Jackson.
Daniel
yeah.
Danielson, thank you. And your lady. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Jackson. I'm playing CIA agent. That's getting ready to come out as well. Wow.
Yeah,
thank
you gotta check that out on YouTube.
Yes, yes.
And also, what about the one with the look and the stare? What was the What was the name
Just
of that?
Look at Me.
Just Look at Me. That's another one. We're gonna have to show some highlights in between this interview, so you know, check it out. But yeah, Just Look at Me. How was that?
Yeah, she was looking for love.
Yes.
Yeah, she was like a teacher in the daytime, and in the nighttime, she was a call girl. She was looking for love, but she didn't want to be like her mother. And I'm just saying, I was one of the clients, but I'm something like you never saw before. You couldn't even see me when I played that role. That was fun as well. That's what my man James Gillett. James Gillett, shout out to you. Let's finish doing some work, man. Love you, man. Stay up and keep doing what you're doing, man. Yeah, that was good. That was good. And
That's like 4 projects right there within the last couple of months. All totally different characters.
Yeah.
So the range was definitely out there. How do you feel about your growth since we last sat down and talked? I know we talked about the Pray Before You Eat and stuff like that, but now you've branched out into other acting roles with new acquaintances, with totally new opportunities, people that you didn't even know.
Yes.
So how do you feel about the growth?
I feel good. I just pray. I have faith. You know, and I let go and I let God. I believe, you know, this craft, this is my calling, and I love doing. I'm also doing 8 at a Table soon. I'll be recording for 8 at a Table.
Shout out to Moni Lynn for that, and Creative Machine.
Exactly,
I forgot his
yes,
regular name,
yes.
but Creative Machine. Make sure you check them out on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. They got this whole new concept where they have 8 adults from totally different backgrounds sit down and discuss some racy topics when it comes to relationships and finding love. And I mean racy.
Yes,
Okay? You may learn some new things watching this, but make sure you check that out as well, right?
Yes, yes.
And where can they follow you on social media?
Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Ambassador of Harlem, and y'all can check me out on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube. On Facebook, Talib A. Shakur.
Yes.
Not Talib Shakur, Talib A. Shakur.
Yes.
Check me out. Share me. I promote black love. Support those that support you. And one day I would like to come back and interview you because you're doing a whole lot of stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm doing a few things.
Yeah.
I'm doing a few things.
Doing
But
a
it's
lot
not
of
about me. When I sit here, it's about my guests and who I bring out and help to promote what they're doing.
Yes.
But also, check out the movie reel. I did edit the movie reel. I will say that. I am trying to do my editing and get my craft up as far as with acting and hosting and things like that as well. So, you know, the movement. That's what this is about. Movement, growth, and support of each other. So again, make sure you support all my guests
Black
that's been
love.
on the show today. We've had TJ Vida, we had BLO, we have Talib Shakur on the show, and we may have one more if he can make it here within the next 10 minutes. We may have another guest, and of course, support me, your girl Deborah COCO. Just give me the mic. A lot of good events we have coming up soon, and you know, thank you for joining me. Anything else you want to say to the people that's been supporting you?
Thank you for all your support, all y'all that believe in me, and keep watching because I'm coming.
3D glasses.
Put the 3D glasses on.
3D
I'm
glasses
here.
on, y'all.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with some more, y'all. Your girl Deborah COCO, Talib Shakur. We'll be back.
Thank you much.
Hey, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed today's show. It was very informative as far as if you know anyone that's suffering from epilepsy. And if you would like, please feel free to either volunteer your time or donate whatever you can to this cause that's going on and this event that's taking place on May 20th. Also, make sure you check out the Bombay Radio Show, 24 hours of variety entertainment. Make sure you tune in and support that network as well. And also check out Talib Shakur. He told you about his projects, a lot of things coming up soon. Shout out to everybody that's involved with everything. He's the OG in Pray Before You Eat 3, which is coming soon. So just support. That's the main thing that I want to say today. We're leaving you with the final note. We definitely need to support each other. We can't always expect to be supported if we don't support. So that's the number one thing. And make sure, again, that you check out Just Give Me the Mic on Cablevision and Time Warner. We're definitely coming up with some new ideas, some new events. And, you know, 2018 is looking real good so far. So, again, I'm your girl, Deborah COCO, and thank you for checking out Just Give Me the Mic.
Deborah COCO, and welcome to the Just Give Me the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who you are and what it is that you do. Welcome. Check us out every Sunday night at 10 p.m. on BronxNet Channel 68, and look for us on YouTube.
Testimonial link. A Jgtmtv. Music distribution.
Deborah COCO, and welcome to the Just Give Me the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who you are and what it is that you do. Welcome. Check us out every Sunday night at 10 p.m. on BronxNet Channel 68, and look for us on YouTube.
Testimonial link. A Jgtmtv. Music distribution.
Deborah COCO, and welcome to the Just Give Me the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who